Yes. It's, yeah, but not for these online things. Hello, testing, testing. We're just making sure that this is on and running. Do let me know if you can't hear me at any point. And we have 27, 28 people online. It's looking very good. Oh, sorry, that's going to make a lot of noise. My fault. That's all there is. Piano music. Right, I make it 7:31. We've got 31 people in attendance. Hopefully other people will join us as we do. It says, welcome to live chat. Remember, oh, yes, right, okay. And then it says, unable to connect to chat. So if somebody can just type something, then that would be really nice. And I hope you notice I'm wearing my Hart Voices t-shirt today. I hope maybe you all are as well. At least it'll get some use that way. Oh yes, no. I'm getting plenty of messages down here. Who's on T-Rotor? That's a very good question. And that was Esther and Linos. You can help with the bass instead. Oh no, with the T's instead. Right. Okay. Fine. Right. Lovely. So hello everybody, and we're going to do some singing pretty soon. I'm just going to shut the door so that the cat can't get in. And let's give ourselves a shake out. Do try and make sure you're standing up and that you've got plenty of room. That includes you, Paula. Get up on your feet. Okay, she's going to stay off camera today. We thought that she of the two of us, you'd quite obviously prefer to be looking at her. But you're stuck with me instead. Okay, so shake out your hands, shake out your hands, shake out your hands, and drop yourself up, or to drop yourself up. Lift yourself up on your toes, and drop yourself down onto your heels, lifting your toes up. And one more time, lift yourself up onto toes, drop yourself down onto heels, rock forwards and backwards, bend your knees down, lift yourself back up, and you'll have a new and exciting idea of what balance all means. Okay, lovely. And we're going to take a few of those deep breaths that we were talking about. And a complete expulsion of air. Let's try that again. Deep breath in. And this time we're going to take a breath in and release it on a gentle expelled F, but then do 3 short stabs when I'll indicate. You know, sometimes you have the experience of watching your conductor occasionally. You'll know what I mean. Ready? So deep breath from down here. Make sure this goes relaxed and fat on our way of to the breath in. Ready? Breath in, go. And again, Paula wasn't watching. Ready? Deep breath in. And at the end of which, everything should be released. Good. And this time, we're going to do 5 short stabs as we breathe out towards the end of our breath. Ready? Deep breath in and good. This time it's 7 short stabs. Ready? Breath in. Good. And this time, this is the last one, it'll be 9 short stabs. Ready? Yes, the finger polish is still there, although it's getting very... And look that, ladies and gentlemen, look at that little bit of... Oh, yes, it is quite rude, isn't it? Sorry about that. That bit down at the bottom there, that is how long we've been in lockdown. Because that bit has grown since then. It's quite extraordinary, isn't it? So there we are. That's how we measure our time in prison. Lockdown. Okay, take the breath in, and it's 9 short stabs this time. Here we go. Here we go. One more time of those. Do them in groups of 3. That will make it easier to count. Ready? Okay, and so the experiment is to see whether you can use all of your breath whilst keeping your throat open. Don't let this collapse in on itself. keep it nice and open in a feeling of a yawn. We're now going to turn to some pitches, but not absolute pitches yet, just any noises you like. So it's the breath in, followed by and allow that to drop down for as long as you want. Ready? Breath in and until nothing's left. Keep the throat nice and open, remember. Let's try this one again. Breath in. Excellent. And one more, and this time we're going to do 2 little stabs. So it'll be okay, breath in. Until nothing's left. Let's try one of those again. And this time I'd like you to aim for a slightly higher pitch on both of those little lurches up towards the top. Ready? Breath in. Good. Now this time we're going to start changing around what our occlusions are. What's an occlusion, I hear you say? Well, an occlusion is the closing down of the mouth. At the moment, we're doing it right here on a v, but you can do it anyway. You can do a j. Can we do that, please? Same thing, and should feel that you're releasing the air slightly faster. Okay, and we can do a z. Ready? Breath in. Good. Okay, let's take some pitches. We're going to start there. So, that's for the sopranos and altos. For the tenors and basses, it'll be. I say that now because, of course, in the rehearsal, I can correct you when I hear you, but I can't hear you. Ready? Breath in. 1, 2. Good. Keep that airflow going against your teeth. And I keep having to scratch this ear because it's tickling in there because of the resonance happening in my head. So see if you can try and aim for something similar to that. Ready? And 1, 2. Good. You should feel a little bit of a workout going on down here as you're using those muscles. Ready? Oh, we're nearly up to 40. We're nearly up to 40. Yes, we're at 40. Hooray. Ready? And 1, 2. Good. Upper semitone. 1, 2. And one more. Go. I've forgotten where we are. This always happens at about this time. E flat. Altos and basses, you're allowed one more. And 1, 2. Good. Oh, we've lost one. Somebody's given up. 39. Oh, well, never mind. It means that 20 people haven't turned up, which is slightly worrying, isn't it? They've gone to the loo. I see. Right, fine. They don't have to log off for that. Actually, they do. And for all sorts of reasons. I just can't believe I just said that. Right, here we go. Altos and basses, if you can continue. Oh, 41. Brilliant. They brought a friend. If you can continue, do. Sopranos and tenors, you have to carry on. Ready? 1, 2. Peter Kirsten, thanks very much for the comment about the piano. Yeah, I know it's very nice, isn't it? My grandparents couldn't be bothered to polish it anymore, so had it sprayed white. in Hamburg in the 1970s. And it's remained white ever since, apart from the bits which are beginning to chip off. Okay, where are we? Yeah, altos and basses continue. It's an F. It's just about feasible. Tenors and sopranos continue. Ready, 3, and. Good. And one more. Sopranos and tenors really now only. And 3, go. Make sure you keep your chin tucked in and the back of your neck nice and stretched. Sopranos and tenors carry on. 1, 2. And one more. 1 and. Great. And now join the basses and altos again, and we'll go on to vowels. Last week we concentrated rather a lot on E and air, going towards R. This time we're going to concentrate on ooh, starting there. So we can actually take ooh quite high, usually. So I'd like you to start there, quite low down. Now we're going to try and make sure that our noses are closed off. So if you can start this with a little bit of breath against your lips. Just make sure that the breath is coming out there. Ready? 1, 2. And you can do now the octave. Go. And a semitone. And one more. So we're aiming for a long face. The surprised face, the Kenneth Williams face. 1 semitone up, 1, 2. And one more, go. Good. Okay, and I reckon altos and basses you should be able to do one more. Really think that sound right up into your head. 1, 2. Good. Okay, and now tenors and sopranos, carry on. One more, and. And up again. And again, do this thing about your mouth opening up towards the top. 1, 2. And the last one. 1, 2. Okay, so now everybody, if we can just take it down to here. Add the altos and basses in again. And if we can just do this exercise, I'd like to go. 1, 2. Now, a lot of people find that changing from an ooh on a high note to an ah is quite tricky, unless they know exactly what they're doing. So, for example, if I don't know what I'm doing and I just sing out, we get this. I'm not putting that on. That's just me singing without any care and attention. Okay, so if that happened to you, then that's fine. That's all about formants. Ah doesn't work as well as ooh. Ooh works brilliantly once we take it up into head resonance. Okay, so can you just do that again? Ooh, and this time, instead of singing ah, sing aw. Okay, so imagine you've put a whole chicken egg, a whole chicken, I nearly said that, a whole chicken egg into your mouth, that sort of space. Oh, okay, right, here it is to ooh and go. That's a lot easier, isn't it? Isn't it? Imagine, experiment with it yourselves. But or, up at the top should kind of feel a bit like or. And that's why we're working towards or today. Okay, so back down to here. And I'd like you to do your singer's arpeggio. So, 1, 2. Good, and now let's do that a bit faster. 1 and 2. Good, and a little bit faster and upper semitone. 1, 1, 2. Really increasing the space as you're going up. Upper semitone and 1, 2. And one more and 1 and 2. And one more. Okay, and sopranos and altos continue. And 1, 2. Head back and up and jaw down. Same one. 1, 2. Good. Okay, lovely. And sopranos and basses out. Sorry, altos and basses out. Sopranos and tenors in. And 1. One more and 1, 2. Where does that take us to? Yeah, A flat. Well done. And one more. And go. Great. Okay. Lovely. Right. Give yourselves a bit of a shake out. And can we just do this thing about the neck? Okay. Just drop your neck onto the left. Feel that tendon here, really, these muscles here, really stretching themselves. The other thing that you can do, having dropped your neck over to one side, is just with your chin, point to the ceiling. And that'll feel it stretch. Okay, and then over to the right-hand side, gently roll it round, no fast movements. And with your chin, gently squeeze to the top. You should feel this. Make sure your shoulders are nice and low. Okay, and now drop it down to the front and feel these. You can't see it, can you? Because your head's looking down. It depends where your computer screen is, I suppose. But the back of your neck, stretch that out. And then slowly unfurl yourself. Like one of those ferns that you see opening up in nature documentary. Good, you should feel about an inch taller than you were. Okay. Right, lovely. And we're going to do the same exercise, but changing on our vowels now. So I'd like to change from ooh to aw to ah. And we're going to do that exercise 3 times through. So here we're going to start, well, twice through and with an extra note. So it'll be ready? 1 and 2. Good. And I'd like you to experiment with how much resonance you can see, if you can find in your voice. Okay, so you're trying to find as big a space as you can, especially internally, in the back of your throat and within your mouth. Okay, those are where the spaces need to be. Ready? Upper semitone. And 1 and 2. And upper semitone. 1 and 2. Great. Okay, on to the same pitch. And this time staying on O, and I'd like you to do one legato and then one as short stabs. This will reintroduce the idea of these muscles down here doing some work. So it'll be this. And just stay on A for this whole exercise. Ready? It's legato, then staccato. 1 and 2. Upper semitone. Where are we? And 1 and 2. Good, okay, so tenors, you need to start thinking about the sound being centered a little bit more up here for all of that. Sopranos, you need to feel it filling your whole head. Altos, this is really a body exercise, and basses as well. You should feel that it's resonating right the way through here. Ready? This is the last one for the altos and basses. And 1 and 2. Great. Okay, keeping this all down and working. And upper semitone. Oh, sorry, no, that's not right. Okay. Sopranos and tenors, really. And 1 and 2. Upper semitone, 1 and 2. It's a very good exercise, you know, watching yourself on a screen doing these exercises and figuring out what your own particular quirks are. And last one, ready, sopranos and tenors, 1 and 2. Great. Okay, well done. So grab a seat, everyone. Relax yourselves just a little bit. And so excuse me for a moment while I just find the email that I sent out to everybody just a moment ago. Wait a minute, here we are. So it was, gosh, it was a little while ago, wasn't it? Sorry. There we are. Great. Okay. So the next thing that I wanted to talk with you about was the difference between harmonics and formants. So a harmonic is a sound whenever you sing within your larynx, your vocal folds are vibrating in a number of ways for any note that you sing. The first way in which they're vibrating is, here are your two vocal folds. I just need to see whether I can actually see that or whether you can see it. 1 second. Here are your vocal folds, okay? They're usually like that, okay? And they will be vibrating in this way, opening and shutting in one big long line like that, okay? That will be producing a fundamental note, and that's the note that you can actually hear. So, that's that note there, the one that you can hear. But in addition to that, they are vibrating in such a way that the middle bit stays still. And I'm not entirely sure that I can do this with two hands, but the middle bit stays still there, and they vibrate like that as well. Okay? And this is what's known as the first harmonic. That is a pitch exactly an octave above the fundament. And your voice does this whether you like it or not, okay? It's going to do that. And in fact, you can experiment with your piano, if you so have one, or with any stringed instrument to see the harmonics happen, because halfway along the string in the piano is not just vibrating like that, but it's also vibrating in this way as well. And we can prove that. I don't know if you can hear this, but here is a fundamental note, a bottom C. But if I now press that note down very gently so that it is free to vibrate but doesn't make a sound, and I press this note, can you hear that that note is now resonating. But the only string that's vibrating is the bottom one. So that string is vibrating at that harmonic. Now, in addition, there is a second harmonic, which will be this. These get progressively more and more difficult to do with your arms, but that one's pretty good, okay? So the middle third is vibrating, this third is vibrating, and that third is vibrating. And that makes the note of a fifth above that one. And then we go to the next harmonic, which is the fourth above that, i.e. 2 octaves higher, and then it's a major third up, and then it's a minor third up, and then it's a sort of slightly flat minor third, and then it gets up to the next octave. And so we get this harmonic series is present in any note you sing. Any note that anybody sings will have all of those pitches present, but they are very, very soft. And if you think about it, if you're a soprano singing this note, then the harmonics are all up here. So you can barely hear them because they go off the piano. So those are harmonics, and they're present in your larynx, and there's nothing you can do about them. They're going to be there whether you like it or not. However, whether we can hear them or not depends on formants. So there is a little channel that a little corridor that I have to walk through from the choir vestry at St. Paul's Cathedral into the cathedral itself. And that is a an arch-shaped chamber that we have to walk through. And that arch-shaped chamber happens to be exactly the right size to resonate on this note. Bottom F sharp. Now, as you can hear, I am a tenor and I can't sing a bottom F sharp terribly well. But when I stand in that chamber and hum a bottom F sharp, everybody can hear it. It suddenly goes boom in everybody's ears. And that is because that chamber happens to be the right size to resonate on that note. And that is a formant. And you have that going on in spades within your body. Within your vocal tract, from here upwards, there are 2 main chambers. One is in your throat from about here to there. And the second one is in your mouth from there to there. And our job as singers is to make sure that we always match the sound we are making to, and the vowel we are singing to the space that we're offering. Okay, we need to match those 2 things up. And that's why some vowels are harder than others. Ah is a very rich sound with lots and lots of harmonics, and it's very, very difficult to tune. This is why we often need to change it to aw as we're going up in terms of pitch. So that's the difference. And what I will do is I will send through a brilliant website that I have come across, which I think explains this better than anything else I've come across, as to what you're looking for and why it is that certain vowels are so much harder than others, and also why we feel that there's this sort of break in our voice and what's going on there. Okay, so I will send that through afterwards in an email to everybody. Do feel free to have a quick look at it, and you know, I'm sure everybody will find something that they didn't know beforehand. Great. Okay, we're on to our next little vocal exercise, which is what I like to call the 2 dicky bird exercise. Okay, well, last week we did an awful lot of work on v, and we did it this week as well. V is brilliant because it closes off your nose. V, you can only do that by singing out through your mouth. That's where we want to be most of the time. But sometimes we need to sing words beginning with and those are the 3 sounds that we need to do, where the sound has to come out of our nose and not our mouth. And it's very important after those words that we get back to producing sound out of our mouth. It's very easy to sing me, 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 and everything ends up sounding slightly nasal because I've not bothered to close off my nose after doing the . So this exercise is all about that. I'd like you to think about a V exercise, a V sound, and take it up and down the fifth. Let's give ourselves this pitch. So we're going to sing. And then I'd like you to do the same thing on a And hopefully you'll feel the difference, because on one, your mouth is open, on the other, your nose is open. Let's give that a go. So everybody's standing up again. And we're going to start with this V, and 1, 2. And now to M. When you're singing M, do try and make sure your jaw hasn't done that it's stayed dropped and open, so that your lips are free to vibrate. So we're now going to go from one to the other. Ready and go. Good. Okay, and what I can do now is move from V to M slightly faster. So we're going to do ready, 1 and 2. Good. And now all the way through that, again, you should be feeling that these muscles are working quite nicely. Now, what does this have to do with two dicky birds? You couldn't do that. Right, okay, great. So that's great news, because otherwise I'd be spending a whole load of time explaining something that everybody can do already. Okay, what are the two dicky birds for? Here they are, two little dicky birds. This one is going to represent your mouth, air coming out of your mouth. And this one is going to represent air coming out of your nose. But because the closed port is up here, I'm going to put this one here. So I look a bit like I'm using a not Victorian, when were they invented? The 1920s telephone. Okay? One at the mouth and one on my ear, representing the V port, this closure at the back of the nose. Okay? Now when I sing V, this is closed, this one here, and this is open. So I sing, but when I change to I turn them over. Now there has to be one open, or my head will explode. So and just by doing this little visualization of it will sometimes help you if you are finding it difficult, if you're trying to coordinate these things, because that's what we're learning to do. So starting again, this is closed, this is open. Okay, so we're going to take it slightly higher, same thing, and slightly faster. And another one, 1, 2. Good, okay, so we can go down again to there, and I'd like you to take it up and down a fifth now. So we are starting with the front open, back closed, and it's 1, 2. I know some people get slightly confused because they think of that sound as being an ah, but obviously we are just representing the flow of air out of our mouth, whereas here it's the flow of air up here and into our nose. Okay, so up again, and we're going to try it a little bit faster. Ready, 1, 2. And a bit faster. 1, 2. And a bit faster. 1, 2. And a bit faster. Upper semitone. 1, 2. Great. Okay. So by doing this, you are coordinating your V port and your lips, which we need to do whenever we are singing an M into an open vowel. So if I sing ba, at that moment of finishing the M and going to R, I close off my V port into the nose so that the sound, instead of coming out of my nose, or the air, instead of coming out of my nose, comes out of my mouth exclusively. So that's what this exercise is trying to help you coordinate. So we're going to go now from V to M to R. And we're still going to stay with the dicky birds because they're quite important to help us keep a sense of what's going on. So for V, you're closed at the back, open at the front. And it's, listen to it, it's no, it isn't. I wanted to go the other way around. Sorry. So we're starting on which is open at the back and closed at the front. And we're going try that. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Good, well done. Now, if you're doing it right, you'll hear a very strong V sound coming through, okay, and your head won't explode. But as you're changing over from to V, there should be a little bit of a click that goes on inside your nose. See if you can put a small B at the beginning of that V sound. That will help you achieve that. Okay, try it one more time, a little faster. So it's 1, 2, 3. Good. Right. So back. Remember that little dicky bird at the back, little dicky bird at the front. Now we're going to do it the other way around, and this is more of a challenge. So it's which is open at the front, closed at the back. It helps if you put a little b at the end of the M. So listen to that again. It's ba. Make sure your mouth is open and your nose is closed when you go to R. Try that slowly. Ready? So we're starting on V, which is open at the front, closed at the back. Ready? 2, 3. Good. And by doing that, you are coordinating or learning to coordinate this V chord against your lips. And that's one of the things. You see this this cliche of the opera singer practicing and going me, 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 me. And you think, right, well, that's what opera singers do. They practice by doing that. When they're doing that, that's a very specific exercise. They're practicing going from with an open nose and closed mouth to E with an open mouth and closed nose. Okay, it's not just me, 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 me. That does sound horrible. Me, 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 me. It sounds different, and it has a definitely improved feel live when you're singing in a choir. Less nasal and better in tune. Brilliant. Sit yourselves down again, and we will go on to our next one. We've done the dicky birds. Now we're going on to the basics of solfa. Now, we did a little introduction to this last week, but our do as the basis of all harmony is absolutely crucial. And so we're going to be learning the pentatonic scale using these hand symbols developed by Kodaly made famous by Kodaly, but previously developed by John Curwen, and he developed it in collaboration with ideas that he got from a wonderfully looking Victorian music teacher called Sarah Ann Glover, who the pictures of Sarah Ann Glover are really, really something to behold. She must have been a fantastic teacher, but well, she looks very forbidding. Doesn't look like a friendly classroom. Okay, so we're going to start here. There is our do, and so here is our do and do, do. So can you sing me that? Go. Do, do, do. Unfortunately, there's not that much in the way of interesting tunes that we can do just with do. So we have to introduce a new note, which is the fifth above it. Do, so, do. Go. Do, so, do. All right, don't then. Ready? And so now let's carry on. And as I do these hand symbols, I will attempt to do them slightly before singing them. Okay, so bear that in mind, Paula. And then you can guess at the note, and then you'll hear me join you. Ready? Here it is. Do, so, do, so, do, so, do. Paula's decided not to join me, which is slightly disappointing. Okay, let's have everybody singing along to this. You're not going to listen and sing back. You're going to look at the hand symbols and join in immediately, because you know what do sounds like and you know what so sounds like. So you can just sing on them. And if you want to, do the hand symbols as well. It sometimes helps to make a coordination, a bit like your dickie birds. Ready? Go. Do, so, do, so, do, so, do. So don't join with me in singing. You have to guess the note first, okay? So when I do this and they're silent, it's not suddenly that we've gone out of sync with each other, okay? Although that may have happened as well. Sing when you see the hand symbol, okay? Not when you hear us sing.
And you don't want me to do that.
And I don't want you to join with me. Yeah, that's why you need to do, honestly, Paula's far too good for this. Right, okay. So we're now going to introduce a new note. How exciting. We're going to introduce La, So, Do. Sing me that. La, so, do. I need to make sure that it's always in the frame, so I'm looking very carefully to make sure that. But if it goes too high, do please tell me afterwards. Okay, so we're going to do this again. There's so, go. So, la, so, do, la, so, do, so, la, do, do, la, do. Great. Well done. I guess. I hope. Okay, we're going to add a new note in. Oh, how exciting. We're going to add re. It's this kind of diagonal karate chop. So, do, re, do. Sing me that. Do, re, do. So now we can do sight reading using all four notes plus the top do. Here we go. Do. Wait for it. Ready? Do, re, do, so. Oh no, I haven't done fa yet. Wait. Here we go. And. Do, re, so, la, so, do, re, la, so, do, so, la, so, re, do. For some reason, a lot of people find that re quite difficult because having established that do is the note that we're always going for, suddenly to go so, re, that pitching of that fourth can be quite tricky. So just, let yourself off if you found that one difficult. But let's do another one just to get used to those pitches. Do, re, sol, la, do. And the difference between all of those pitches, between do and re and sol and la, they're both tones. They're both whole tones, so it makes it nice and easy for us to pitch those two pairs. Okay, let's try that again. Ready, go. Do, so, do, la, so, re, so, do, so, la, so, do, re, do. Well done. I'm making these tunes up as I go along. It's quite stressful, really, because I've got to remember which notes I can't use. So to that end, I'm going to add in a new note now, which is me, and this is the last one we're going to deal with today. All right, it's all about me. So do, re, mi. Sing me that. Do, re, mi. So all of those intervals, do to re, re to mi. By the way, this whole purpose of this kind of term's work is to introduce concepts and music theory and oral ability and sight reading and all of that business to people who haven't understood it previously. And so whenever I use a term like interval, most people will understand what I mean. Some people won't, and that's absolutely fine. But you need to learn it now. An interval is not the 20 minutes when we all go out and get pissed in between the beginning of the rehearsal, the beginning of the concert and the end, although it is that, but it is also the space between two notes, as in how many steps up it is or down. Okay, and I'm going to be referring to these as tones. They are one step up on the keyboard from one white note to the next one. If you're going from do to re and to mi, and the reason I'm missing out fa is that it doesn't follow that rule. So, la, do. Okay, and amazingly, we stayed in tune. Right, here we go. Sight reading it. Go. Do, re, mi, so, la, do, so, do, la, so, la, mi, re, mi, so, mi, do. Great, well done. So that's your first little introduction to some sight reading by hand symbol, which we will be doing a little of in every one of these sessions. But I just wanted to make sure that everybody was fully au fait with those notes so far. So far. See what I did there? Right, can we turn on to Sweet and Low, please? Which we will have a little sing through now. Oops. Okay, so I'm going to move the keyboard down a little bit so that we can see what's going on here. Okay, and here is your chord of C major. Now again, for those people who are in the know, C major is an easy idea, but if you haven't done any piano lessons, then you'll need to be told C major is recognizable because Do is C. And the reason we know Do is C is because there are no sharps and no flats in the signature. Right, so here is your bass note, tenors, altos, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, I beg your pardon. From 13 and 1, 2, 3. My 4. 1, 2, 3. Alto note again. Right, let's try that again. It's not just difficult for me to play. It's not difficult to play, but it's just difficult for me. Ready? 13. 1, 2, 3. Good, okay, lovely. Now, I hope you brought a pencil to this rehearsal because we're going to start marking a few things in. So I'll give you a couple of seconds to get hold of a pencil quickly. Quickly. I mean, since it's your own photocopy, you could write this in pen if you've got it, or eyeliner, lipstick, paint. Yeah, anyway, lemon juice, and then you can reveal it against the candlelight later. Right, okay, so sweet and low, sweet and low wind. So we're going to take a quaver breath on that second low, but not at the end of the first bar. Okay, so please go through there. Sweet and low, sweet and low breath. Okay, and so when I say take a quaver out, you need to draw in a little symbol that looks like this. Now, I've spent a good 3 or 4 hours trying to find out a way of just clicking a button and suddenly this appears in the screen in front of you. But unfortunately, that's rather difficult. So this is the low-tech solution. There it is, you see. A quaver rest. That's what we need there. And that's going to take up the room of that dot. So you could cross that dot out. Okay, and we move on. Wind of the western sea. And you see there's a quaver rest already there. So you can take that breath in. Let's sing that together. Ready? Sweet. Sorry, you may not have heard it, but Paula just let out a massive yawn.
Sorry.
Off we go. And I'll be speaking with her later. Ready? Sweet, sweet, sweet. And 1, 2, 3. Sweet and. Good, okay. Now try and make sure that that last note lasts right through to the end of that. See, don't let it fade out too early. Okay, we're going on to the next couple of things. And we have these crescendi and diminuendi. Long breathe and blow. At which point there's this pause. So you need to use the last vestiges of breath you have. Here it is from low. 1, 2, 3. Long, breathe and blow. Good, thank you. It also says sforzando there, doesn't it? So we should sing breathe and blow. And that should have a nice plosive blow at that point. Okay, so can we take it from that low, low, tenors, basses, 1, 2, 3, low, crescendo, 2, 3. Good, okay, now that needs to be nice and light and piano. And when we start that, please try and make sure that your W at the beginning of wind is not principally a consonant, wind of, but a vowel. Wind of the where, wind. Make sure that it actually tells us a vowel. Can I just hear that, please, from figure 7? And 1, 2, 3. Wind of the western sea. Okay, lovely. The next phrase, on we go. Sopranos, altos, tenors, basses. 1, 2, and. Good, lovely. Let's try that one more time. Sorry, I got slightly thrown. One more time. And 1, 2, 3. Okay, lovely. So when we get there at bar 13, all of those notes, despite the fact that they're written out in a funny, slight, the first two are further apart and the next two are closer, they're just 3 quavers. So, blow him again to me. And then you really need to concentrate on your even diminuendo throughout me. Ready? Blow. And 1, 2, nice and loud. And. Good, okay, lovely. Let's take a breath at that comma, please. So, while my little one, while my pretty one sleeps. The second time through, you're going to have to go right through to the end of that line. Okay, here it is from While My Little One. Sorry. And altos, there's a note. 1, 2, 3. Good, fantastic. Let's put that aside. And can we have a look at Dayton, Ohio, which is the slightly more complicated one. So in our last rehearsal, we covered the first page. And I reckon, that's still online. So you could go back and have a little look at those notes if you're in trouble. But what we're going to do now is we're going to start from bar 10. Okay? And we're going to start with the altos and sopranos. So here's a D and an F and a B flat for the tenors and basses, because they could start singing already, couldn't they? B flat, F, D, F. This piece of music, you'll be pleased to know, is in B flat major. And how can I tell that? I can tell that from the key signature as well, because there's another rule for the flat keys, which I'm not going to go into now, but we'll talk about that next time. Okay, so here it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. altos. 1903 should, yeah, that's it. 2, 3, 4. Okay, good, lovely. Let's hear that one more time. Altos and sopranos. Basses, first places, tenors. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Crescendo, through, and. I'm going to mark in an A natural there because that's irritating me. Good, okay, fantastic. So, a couple of breathing marks now, and you can mark this in with your pencil. Let's take a quaver breath out there, please. So that's at the end of bar 11. So I'm done another little 7 there. Look, can you see it? I don't know if it's actually coming over. Yeah, you can see it there, just about. Right, okay, and on. Then you take a breath, and it's do, do, do. This can be quite percussive. Do, 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 do. And please don't make the vowel sound too boo. Do. This can forget everything we said about the vowels earlier. This is not one of those vowels. This is low down in your voice, and you can just articulate it with your mouth in a quite narrow position. Ready? Ooh, do. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do, 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 do. Yes, great. And so sopranos and altos again from bar 13 into bar 14. That's the end of the line. Please don't take a breath. Okay, so I would mark in a nice arc there to indicate that you're not going to breathe, and you're going to go straight into do, 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 ah. This time your what, which isn't written down, is present because you're going from ooh to ah nice and quickly. Okay, and it's all going to sound like it's a one movement up to that ah. Okay, here we go one more time from bar 10, sopranos and altos only. Tenors, sorry, basses. Tenors and first basses. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay, Paula didn't get the note, so nobody else can have either. Here we go. B flat, F, altos, sopranos. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. No breath. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Breath. Good, okay, and sopranos and altos in bar 17, you can hold that right through to the end of the bar, please. 1903 off, okay? We'll talk about the inconsistencies of that approach as well, but that'll happen later. Tenors and basses, I'd like to hear you, please. In fact, I'd like to hear the basses first. So here's a B flat and an F, first basses, second basses, but altos, sopranos, you can have another go at singing it. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Well done. Tenors and basses, I'm hoping that's okay. Can we do it one more time? Just the basses on their own. Well, no, it's not just the basses on their own, but that's all I'm going to play. There's a B flat, there's an F. Again, make it quite percussive. Do, 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 be, do. Sorry, do, he. Do try and remember that first basses. It's quite important. Right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. tenors, we're going to add you into this mix. I'm only going to play you, but I'm going to give the notes to everybody else. So here's a bass part. First basses, altos, sopranos, bar 2. Here we go. Your tune goes 1, 2, 3. Would you like to come over for tea? You've got to put that extra little hee in. Listen to it one more time. Basses, tenor, first basses, altos, sopranos. 1, 2, 3. Would you like to come over for tea? With the missus and me. It's a real nice way to spend the day in Dayton, Ohio, on a lazy Sunday afternoon in 1903. Okay, well done. Tenors. The breathing is pretty much, it's wherever there's a rest. So at the end of the second bar of page 2, go through for the full length minim, then take your breath where the crotchet rest is marked. Next, with the missus and me, off. Okay, hold that one on for as long as you can, and then it's real quick. It's a real nice way to spend the day in Dayton, Ohio. So please sing Dayton, Ohio. So that's a Two Little Dickie Birds moment there. Dayton. One moment you're singing out of your mouth, and next out of your nose, and then back again. Dayton, Ohio, in a lazy Sunday afternoon in 1903. Can you take a breath after 3, please, tenors? And then not at the end of the bar. So it's 1903. Okay, and that takes us into the next stage. Right, everybody, here we go. Basses, first basses, tenors, altos, sopranos. 1, 2, 3. Would you like to come over for tea? With the missus and me. It's a real nice way to spend the day in Dayton, Ohio, in a lazy Sunday afternoon in 1903. Very good, well done. And we will have one little look at this next section, because this is where we break it down. Altos. We're going to start with you. 2. So, right, now, and do read it through. Do read it through. Where you are singing do and when you are singing ba. And it's not do ba do do. Please don't be too operatic. It's do ba do ba do. It has to be so nonchalant as to be non-existent. Here we go. Altos goes like this. But here is the tenor and bass note. And here is the soprano note when it comes. 2, 3, 4. I've completely lost. Wait a minute. Where's my page 3 gone? Oh no, this could be the end of the rehearsal. Yes, my page 3 has disappeared. Where's it gone? I know. Blinking up amateurs. Right. All right. Yeah, I'm sure I had mine earlier, but there we go. You might have nicked my part. Right. Okay. So here we go. Yes, you can come around here. Okay.
It's this one, isn't it?
Ah, there we go. Right, here we go. Altos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Would you like to come over for tea? Yeah, you need to lift after T before he. Okay, so, but let's take it up to there. We'll do it one more time with the altos. Here it is. 2, 3, 4. alto sing. Do ba do ba do ba do ba do ba do ba da 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 da. So ba da do ba da do. Sing me that slowly, altos. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Ba da do ba da do. And again. 1, 2. Ba da do ba da do. Carry on. Do ba do ba do ba do da. Ba do ba da do. Hold that on for those 4 beats. Okay, right. Altos and sopranos together. I'll see if I can play it, and you'll see if you can sing it. Here we go. Bar 18. 2, 3, 4, 1. Alto, you're going to join in? I'm relying on you because when I stop playing the alto part, you're still there. 2, 3, 4, 1. Good. Tenors and basses. Ready? And altos, you're welcome to continue singing. Here's a D, there's a B flat. Ready? But we're going to do the tenors and bass part now from bar 18. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, well done. So you might have noticed first basses that you get this little tune. Ah, da, 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 which is a quote from something. I can't quite remember off the top of my head now. Okay, tenors, let's hear you on your own, please, from bar 20. There's a B flat. 1, 2, 3, 4. That G sharp needs to be really, really quite bright. So from bar 24, do do goes and do 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 da da. Basses on your own. Bar 18 goes like this. 2, 3, 4. Right, I reckon we can put everybody together again. The sopranos need another go. Is this coming out on the message board? Excellent. Are you getting slightly confused at bar 20 and 21? Is it the triplets that are always causing the problems? Right, okay, let's try it again. 1, 2, ba-do, ba-do, ba-da-do, ba-da, ba-da-do, do, ba-do, 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 ba, ba-do, ba-da-do. But sopranos, the thing is, you can always refine, you can rewind this because we've recorded it, okay? So you can rewind this and practice it in your own time, in between rehearsals. Okay, but let's do it now, all together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And that takes us into the next chorus, okay? So have a practice of that lot, please. And we'll see you next week. I think, because we are there, I'm afraid. That's it. See you next time, and I'll join you for a glass of wine in the Zoom meeting in a minute. Bye.